Our industry is moving faster than ever. Where are freight volumes headed? How will this affect capacity? And of course, what's the newest technology that can benefit your business? Those questions and many more will be answered at the industry's hottest Freight Tech Conference this November in Chicago. Come join us at FreightWaves Live November 12th and 13th at the McCormick Center. Visit FreightWavesLive.com to register.
Welcome to your Wednesday edition of FreightWaves Now. Got some really exciting stuff to talk about today. But first, let's hear from John Kingston with the oil update.
I'm John Kingston. Welcome to FreightWaves Now. We're talking about diesel prices, and we're talking about a tale of two cities. The first one we're going to talk about is Chicago. So what you see at the bottom there, the 1.825, is the most recent wholesale rack price for ultra-low sulfur diesel in Chicago. What you see above that is the national average, $2.06. That's an enormous gap, way bigger than it normally is. If we step back a little bit, you can see over here it looked a lot closer. Well, why did it spread out so much? Really, it comes down to agriculture. It looks like a fairly weak harvest season. You had bad weather in the planting season. You had some bad weather recently in the Midwest, which wiped out some crops. So when you have a drop in the agricultural demand because of a poor harvest, you're going to get a drop in diesel demand. So this is actually showing up in the price of the average retail price of diesel. You can see Chicago is the 3.0292. The national average, according to DTS.USA and Sonar, is just under that. But really, just a few weeks ago, the spread was much wider. This really is kind of a farm thing right here. So that's down. Let's talk about something that's going up. Portland, Oregon. Really pretty amazing story up there. The Portland market is served by the Olympia pipeline, which serves the entire Pacific Northwest. They've had some maintenance up there. Remember, all West Coast gasoline and diesel prices are always higher than the rest of the country. You can see what's just happened in the past few weeks. The maintenance on the Olympic pipeline has been significant. It's driven prices up. The spot price, as measured by S&P Global Platts, which is the benchmark out there, is now 60 cents over the CME ULSD price. That's an enormous number. The Gulf Coast number is about 5 to 6 cents below CME. That's 65 cents in the spot market between Portland, Oregon and Houston. So you see this market going up. This didn't really even capture everything that went on yesterday on Tuesday. And as a result, you can see this is the average retail price, DTS.PDX in Sonar. That's shot up. That's likely to go up further. So we have a tale of two very different cities, Chicago and Portland. It shows how regional differences in diesel markets can have a big impact. Nobody's really going to take a truck to another area just to get a lower price, but I think certainly those of you in Chicago, as you're transiting through, you get a little temporary windfall. And those of you in Portland, well, you know what? I kind of feel sorry for you. So anyway, that's all for FreightWaves Now. I'm John Kingston.
Welcome to your Wednesday edition of the Carrier Update, sponsored by PowerFleet. My name is Kyle Cunningham. Thanks again for joining me. Let's talk about what's happening in Omaha, Nebraska. Blue Mountain here, outbound tender rejects for Omaha. You can see from the beginning of March all the way to where we're at right now, up and down, up and down. Drew some white lines on the graph here to be able to show you kind of what's been happening. We can see that 10% line, that's going to be your balanced market between carriers, shippers, and brokers, okay? Where we're at today at 19.93, that's almost 1 out of every 5 contracted freight tenders being rejected, indicating that within Omaha, there's far better optionality for carriers. And you can see the options just keep getting even better. Big run up here at the beginning of October to do it again right as of yesterday. Let's go ahead and take a look back and talk about what was happening. Back in mid-May, back in mid-June, these were hitting new highs as they were running up, indicating the options were getting better. As it stands today, we could see this one keep running up a little bit further to over 20%. So keep an eye on Omaha and understand that as of right now, your assets are more valuable today than they were yesterday. Moving over to Dubuque, Iowa, wanted to highlight some stuff happening in terms of inbound tender rejections. Inbound rejections in Dubuque up huge, 14.44%. Up 15% from yesterday. Right down the road in Des Moines, same story. Big runs up in terms of inbound rejections. Why our carriers don't want to go in there, I don't know. But I'll tell you, if they do end up going in there, the outbound rejections as well are going to provide favorability. Taking a look here, Blue Mountain, Dubuque, big runs up. In terms of Des Moines, 17% outbound rejections. So 17% outbound rejections for Des Moines. 12.95% inbound rejections. That's a good market, and you can stand by that all day. Move over to Dallas, Texas. Now I want to highlight some details inside of Dallas. You can see here lots of lines, lots of movement. I'm going to explain how this works, okay? This white line right here, the smooth one's going to be your moving average for the Dallas market. This yellow line right here, that's going to be your outbound tender volume, and the white line here, your outbound tender rejects. As it comes along, we can see today 2.38 in terms of outbound tender rejects in Dallas. Soft market. What's happening? Volumes are sliding down. Look how these two correlate each other. As the volumes come up, the rejections are coming up as well. Volumes trending right back up. Would the rejections be trending back up again? You only find that in Sonar and on your carrier update. Now it's time for the Wednesday brokerage update with a lot of stuff happening all across the country. Donny Gilbert's back again to tell us what's going on.
So today I brought you our reefer outbound tender rejection map. And this is because I kind of want to see what's going on in the different reefer markets. Here the Pacific Northwest is kind of dying down some. But when you look at this map, you really need to look and watch the legend. Here, the white maps that we normally think we're not really much activities going on, well, this is actually 0 to 11.5%. So there are some markets in these areas that are white that you need to hover over and see what the percentages are, because there are a lot of little markets through the Midwest here that are 8 to 11%. That are, those are where the reefer tender rejection rates are still above 7%. So the spot market rates are above your contract rates. So you need to really kind of hover over and check. What we got really highlighted here are the ones that are, 11% to 23% through a lot of the markets here. The Pacific Northwest, it's kind of, drying up a little bit. There's still tender rejection rates that are very elevated in the 20% range, but they're kind of trending downward right now. Moving across here, we see here where some of the tender rejection rates through the Midwest and the Southwest are kind of dipping down in some markets through here, the middle part right here, but there are some that are picking up through here in the Midwest. So this is a good sign right here where some markets are coming down, some markets are picking back up. So you really need to kind of dive into these and really jump in and see what's going on in each market so you understand are the rates trending up or the rates trending down. Now, here we're halfway through October. I saw this on our weather map here, winter storm. This is the second big storm to hit Denver.
Right up 25, man.
Now, since we're talking about reefer, I want to go ahead and let people know it's time for that protect from freeze freight to start picking up. We're going to start seeing these winter storm warnings start picking up more and more across the mountainous regions and the plains area. So if you're running stuff like maybe water or colas, or even now is a big time for soup season picking up, you can't have these loads freeze on us. Here they say if it's above 28 degrees, you can park your truck, keep it idling, but is it worth the risk of having a claim for it? So here, watch the loads that you're now picking up and keep your eye on the weather map here. If it starts getting below 30 degrees, you need to start changing those loads over and start booking reefers. Definitely keep an eye. This is when our winter maps really do a lot of justice for the brokers that are booking either dry van or reefer. You're not sure what to do. And of course, also check the routes in between. It might be warm where you're picking up, it might be warm where you're delivering, but you might be crossing over through those freezing areas during the night and in different parts of the country. Now, my market for today, I've picked Salt Lake City. And the reason I picked Salt Lake City is here, again, the reefer tender rejection rates are dropping. It dropped from 44% down to about 35%. And that's for current this morning. But I also noticed outbound volumes are picking up for in Salt Lake City for reefers, but inbound volumes are dropping. So here, as the rejection rates lower down, we have a tightening in capacity. So this could actually turn right back around real fast. So this is a market to watch. Yes, they're still very elevated. Rates are well above contracted rates. But if you book a load today that picks up in 2 days, your rates might be headed upwards and you might lose money on it. So right now, I'll probably be upping my bids in the Salt Lake City market because I'm watching this gap strengthen between outbound and inbound. So very important when you see that difference, capacity is tightening, inbound's dropping, therefore your rates are probably going to turn and go right back up.
Love the perspective, love the graph. Beautiful job on that one. Hey, there's 2 seasons in trucking, construction and winter, right? We can see winter's here. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button for us, and be sure to follow us on all our social media channels, whether that's LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter. We'll be going live tonight with a night shift at 7 p.m. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow.